Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I am going to explain you a project I have created. It is called MCP Station. MCP Station is a full stack application created using Fast API for backend and a beautiful AI created with React. Now, why MCP Station? So MCP Station lets you connect, debug and orchestrate MCP servers you have created. Okay. Now this application lets you connect with any of the MCP servers. Like you can connect with MCP remote servers, local scripts, okay, even the legacy SSC servers. Okay, all the three methods are available. You can connect with this uh, application. Now, we know that MCP already provides inbuilt feature called MCP Inspector. But why I created this? Because I wanted a more visual kind of interface where I have a option to interact the MCP servers with the LLMs, because ultimately any developer will want to test their servers against an environment which can act similar to the agentic systems they are going to create or integrate their MCP servers to. So this is why I felt that there is a need to create a system like MCP Station. Okay, so my main goal was to visually test, connect and debug MCP servers. Okay, that's why I created MCP Station. Now let's go back to the demo and see what all capabilities MCP Station have.
So let's start with the experience. I wanted something that felt as polished as a commercial product. The front end is built with React, White, and Tailwind CSS. It features a persistent sidebar, okay, the sidebar for session history and a seamless start mode. You can see here. Now, the core of this application is the connection manager. Okay, so core of this application is connection manager. Here, I can connect to any MCP server, whether it is running remotely via HTTP or SSC or locally. Here we can choose. Okay, so connect. Currently, I have already connected a local tool server.py MCP server which I have created. Okay, I will show you. First, let me disconnect it. Okay, now I have disconnected. Now let's move to other features. Okay, so for the demonstration we will be using the same tool server.py. Okay, now let's see it in action. Okay, I am using Groq's Llama 3.3 model here, but the backend also support Google's Gemini. I will ask the model to generate some UUIDs and a secure password. Okay, now let's first connect our server. So let me show you our server. This is tool server.py. We have a generate secure password method as a MCP tool, so it generates a secure random password. Okay, also we have calculate hash function, and then we have generate UUID, as well as we have date calculations. It calculates exactly the date. Okay, now let's go back to our front end and connect our server. So tools server.py. Now, since this is a local script, we are using stdio. Okay, I'll let it first connect. Once it gets connected, we can test its functionalities. Now you can see from the logs that it has been connected. Okay, now you can see it is saying that four tools are available. So we already have seen the four methods. Now cut this, and let's go back to our interface. Now you can see here. So now our Groq LLM is connected, and in this interface we can just ask questions. Let me first ask, hi, what tools you have access currently? No, let me just write this question. Now you can see here one server, it is saying that it has connected tool server.py, and now Groq has gave us answers. Now you can see these tools, it is saying that a password generator that can create cryptographically secure random passwords, a UUID generator, a date calculator. Okay. Now you can see our server is directly interacting with the AI system. So here we can see that it is a very good feature, so that in real time we can test how our server is behaving when once connected with the AI system. Along with this, now this is a local MCP server. We can also connect uh, MCP servers, which gives us URL like remote MCP servers. So let me just use this one, this remote server. I will come back to this debugger once I have explained this connections. So now you can see tool server.py, while MCP inspector is good for connecting one server, but here we can connect multiple servers, even local, remote, or legacy ones. Now we just have to select HTTP remote, and we can just paste this is the LangChain documentation server. Now once it gets connected, we will see this in action. Now you can see this also have four tools. Okay, now it gets connected. Now let me ask the same question. Okay, now let's see what it is saying. Okay, now you can see along with that password generator, has calculator, UID generator, and date calculator, it is also saying that it have a fetch documentation from the LangChain repo on GitHub, a tool to search with the fetched LangChain documentation for specific queries. Now you can see we can connect multiple servers here. Okay, so now you can see the connections are very smooth, and you can see here it is displaying that two active servers are there. So like this we can connect our MCP servers. Now along with this, most exciting features is this debugger. This is from the developer point of view. Okay, now you can see the same servers we can connect without need to chat with our LLMs. Okay, so suppose we have created our MCP server, and now if we need to connect it. So first let me connect this remote server. Okay, once we get the handshake properly and server is connected, it will list the tools. Here you can see the tools, fetch, LangChain documentation. So we have four tools. Along with this we can also get resources and prompts if any. If not, then it will be blank. Now if you want to execute it, select this first tool and just execute it. Because we don't have any arguments here, it will directly fetch all the LangChain documentation on the GitHub. So you can see here it has fetched everything. Now you can see how perfectly it is working here. Here the debugging becomes very easy, and it is very great feature, so that developers can just get to know what tools we have, what resources, what prompts we have. We can also execute by giving parameters or arguments if there are any. Otherwise we can just get the output directly here. Now let me connect the local script also. First let me disconnect it. Okay, first let me change this stdio local, and we can just say tools server.py. Okay, now you can see this MCP server also has been connected, and you can see we have four methods, or we can say four tools: generate secure password, calculate hash, generate UID, date calculation. In resources we don't have any, in prompts we don't have any. Okay, so you can see we can, how easy this becomes. Now we have, suppose we have created a server, we can just connect it and see everything. So this is why I kept the name MCP debugger here. Okay, now let me close this, and also suppose we are going to interact here. See this, we have two active servers currently. Now let me ask, okay, something. Okay, for example, let me ask a question: generate UUID number and also a password. with hash once I press the enter button. Now, the most important feature is we cannot just go and ask the LLM to execute the. Okay, so my API key was exhausted, so that's why I paused the video. Now let's again restart from then and there only. Now I have written this question. It is requiring for tool approval. Once we approve it, it will start using our server. You can see it has generated the UUIDs. Okay, now it is trying to use the hash. Now you can see your secure password is this and the hash of the password is this. So it used the generate UUID function as well as it calculated this hash. So now you can see we can test our MCP servers just by plugging here and also seeing how our LLM will interact. Okay, so currently I am using Groq API key. So currently one limitation is that while I wrote this generate a UUID number also a password with hash, it must have done it in one go. But since it is able to generate parallel tool calling, but from the backend initially I started with Gemini. So there I kept only one tool call, like sequential tool calls. So that's why currently with the same code, it is using the same pattern. So maybe in the future I will try to make it use parallel tool calling and also make the backend compatible so that it can give the answers in one go. But you can see the main idea is that how we can develop our MCP server and use it in this application to debug, generate, as well as also to simulate how this server will eventually be applied in the real world scenario. Okay, so these were some of the coolest features which you have seen. Now
So
these.
guys, if you like this project, please subscribe this channel and also provide me any feedback for enhancement in this project. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video.